today so far? How was your last session? Feeling good? Thumbs up? Okay, thumbs up. Did y'all get some snacks? I'm sorry I had to take y'all snacks away. But you got some snacks? Feeling hot? You good, you good. Okay. Okay. I just want to give us all just a second. Just a second. And I give you a second because I know that there's so much that y'all are digesting. We've been going non-stop. Even from your last session. Probably came out, was chit-chatting, walking, went to the bathroom, talking like you're talking like you're doing this. Cheekbones, looking good, girl. Got a little distracted. And sometimes we just need a second just to be like, reset. We are not in a rush here. We are doing things here with ease. We are sometimes not running on time, but that's okay. So, I am excited that you all have decided to join me here today because I'm going to share with you one practical, tactical, applicable, all of those goals that you can use starting today that will elevate you in your career. Now, before I get started with that, I want to share a video to kind of set the tone and introduce you to what we do in here. It's quiet, feel free to meditate.
We're gonna go to this video.
And I just needed to breathe too, you know? I was tired. Let them cough drops. Where are y'all from, by the way? Philly, Detroit, Tennessee, Texas, New York. She said, hold on, let me stand up in New York. Let you see me. Atlanta's in the house.
Chicago.
Chi-Town, 45th and Vincent, stand up. 63rd and St. Lawrence, you know what I'm saying?
San Diego.
St. Louis. Tampa. Anybody from Houston? I'm originally from Houston. I lived in Chicago for 13 years, so South Side, stand up, but Houston is my home. He stood up literally, right? He stood up literally. Okay, so we're trying to get the video going. But in the interim, there was like a little quote or something that David said, and what I really liked about it, if there's a seat next to you open, raise your hand. All right, come on down the aisle, brothers. You need to sit down if you want to sit down. Ladies, if you want to sit down, raise your hand again if there's a seat next to you. We got some up here, we got some over there. We got one over there, one right there. I just want you to know that you can sit down if you want to sit down. All right, so he mentioned challenging conventional wisdom. And I thought to myself, oh, dang, that should have been the title of my session. Because there is a piece of wisdom that we've inherited, that we've been told and taught time and time again, that I want to challenge. And challenge it, but then also provide you with something that you can actually do, a call to action, in order to escape corporate meritocracy. Thinking that if I put in the effort and I put in the work and my work shows, it's going to speak for itself, and then I'm good. We know that's a lie. Okay. How are we doing with the video? We good? Okay. Let's go with the video. I'm going to drink some wine after this is done. I'm not even supposed to. No.
Now listen to me. You raised your skirt and opened your knees and gave it away to a man with too much power. You're not rare, you're not special. Your story's no different than 1,000 other stories in this town, so you know how this goes. You could call this in your sleep. First they'll smile, be warm, sympathetic, on your side, letting you know that they will fight for you. They will lull you into a false sense of security. And then, once your belly is exposed, they will gut you and everyone you know, and they will be swift about it. And by the time you realize you should be fighting back, well, you're already bleeding to death. That is the presidency versus you. Whose victory do you think they will fight for? Whose body do you think they will bury?
He would never.
He would never. You and I both know that he is not in charge. He is never in charge. Power is in charge. Power got him elected. I know more than you could possibly imagine about things of which you cannot dream. He told you that you would be First Lady. You believed him. Did I not raise you for better? How many times have I told you you have to be what? You have to be what?
Twice.
What?
Twice as good.
Twice as good as them to get half what they have. Sleeping with them. For God's sake.
Well,
You
that one smacked it. Got me goosebumps. Raise your hand if you've heard that before. Right? Just was trying to prove a point. Now, hit the next slide for me. Where did you learn this? Let me get a couple of examples. Raise your hand. Where did you learn it? Your father, your mother, mama, daddy. Where you learn it? Huh? Mom, grandfather, experience, mother, on the job. And ain't that on the job training for you, huh? Where else did you hear it? School, college, nursing school. Was it black people in nursing school that told you? Mm-hmm.
Fellow colleagues.
Former colleagues,
Current coworkers.
current co-workers, siblings,
Military.
Maine.
Maine.
No.
Oh, yeah, okay. Just in general, people of color, right? So that's that conventional wisdom. And we totally understand. Next slide. Because I forget what question comes up next. Where did you learn this? Think to me. Why does it exist? Because it's our reality. So it's kind of necessary. We can't abandon it. Next slide. We can't pretend that it's not there. What do you gain from adhering to it? Stress, fear, understanding. Someone said that before. What are you saying? Competence, setbacks, insecurities, frustration, anxiety, resentment,
Health problems.
survival. I'll leave it on that one. That's a good one. So in there, we got a little bit of good stuff. You know, context, success, excellence, survival, which is not really a good thing because we shouldn't have to do all that just to survive. But then we also have some of these bad things. Anger, because we can keep rolling with those, right? That's resentment, right? Let's hit it with the next slide. So you're gaining these things. Now, what do you lose if you don't adhere to this mantra?
I feel like you lose everything.
Yeah, you feel like you lose everything. Hit the next slide. The symptoms of you have to be twice as good are the things that you all just said. And primarily, I'm talking about the symptoms that don't serve you. The symptoms that beat you down, that exhaust you. The perfectionism, the imposter syndrome. You say you have to be twice as good. And you know, I didn't mention this in the last one, but there's an interesting thought that I had about this when I was creating this. But you know, we have to be twice as good. And then that twice as good, whether we realize it or not, is not based off of the scale of our good, but their good. And so in that space, we're striving and we're achieving to be twice as good, but it's still on their terms. And then in a way, I feel like it's a filter that we go through that strips us of who we are. So we're losing who we are. What do you lose? Who you are. You're losing that authenticity that Caroline was talking about. You're losing your self-worth. You're losing your self-value. You always feel like I have to be twice as good You're shooting for perfection, and then when you don't meet perfection, which doesn't exist, you feel like you're falling short. And when you feel like you're falling short time and time again, then all of a sudden now you're saying, I never amount, I never add up, I never get it right, I never get done right enough. It's insanity. And so there's a challenge that we have now to still operate with that. Still have to be twice as good, okay? What's the next slide? Oh, keep pressing the button because they come up real slow. I don't know what that's about. But these are some of the things that y'all already said. You know, collectively as Black people, we are on the same frequency. We got the same consciousness. We already know that this is what's happening. Anxiety, perfectionism, head down and do the work. How many of y'all actually, that's another Black mantra, wisdom, put your head down, do the work, right? But that one is associated with you have to be twice as good. So you have to be twice as good, so I'm gonna put my head down, do my work. And then what happens? What do you think happens after that?
You get overwhelmed.
Get overwhelmed. What? Yeah, progress slows down. You don't build, what's your name? Siobhan! You don't build relationships. You put your head down and work, nobody sees you. When we say we have to be twice as good, sometimes we depend on the idea that my work will speak for itself. And that's a lie. Lots of lies that we're dealing with today. Right? Overextending. The last session, they interpreted the G being underneath there because it's overextending. Anyways, I thought it was cute. Burnout, exhaustion, saying yes when you really want to say what?
No.
Come on and be Black today. That's what we said. Okay? Let's let it out right here. So these are some symptoms. And what I'm going to offer you today. Oh, did we pass out the thingy wops yet? Nope. Okay. All right. Some of you got them. Some of you didn't. Okay. So we got, the Post-it notes. Did anybody, who didn't get a Post-it note? Let me see. Everybody. Okay. Was it? Oh yeah. And if you got some, and split it apart, share some, and then we're going to pass it down the aisle. Take a couple, but don't take the whole thing. Just take a couple. We are grateful for the abundance of people in this house. So the unfortunate truth is, this mantra, it's not going anywhere. And you do still have to be twice as good. And we're passing these out because we're going to do an exercise. I gotta come to ELC and not hear that voice, right? But it's kind of fun. Exercise, we're gonna have a lot of fun. I'm sure that's how they do us, They probably enjoy mocking us, so whatever. That part is not going in the recording. Okay, so we all have some sticky notes, but before we do that, can I get 6 volunteers? First hands up. All right, you young man, you young lady, you young lady. All right, you young lady. Let me get you young man. Where the fella's at? Let me get you young man, you young man. I don't know how many that was yet. I wasn't counting. Yeah, you, come on. David, come on up, stand up, come to the front of the room. If I pointed at you, let's see if it came out to 6. Maybe 7. Last time I counted to 7. What's up? I'm seeing a lot of my people from our classes. Do we need Post-it? No, you don't need the Post-it. You can sit in your chair. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It was 7 last time. So obviously when I count to 6, it's actually 7. All right, so, and let me get you a microphone. Oh, right. She's like, wait a minute. Hold up, wait a minute. Okay. So what I want to do is, and hit the next slide. I don't think that's enough. Okay. On the right side, we have to create a new mantra, right? To re-envision what I call the tiring tap dance of corporate meritocracy. How do we escape it? How do we navigate it? Because what happens is they say you have to be twice as good. Then you put your head down. You do the work. You say, my work speaks for itself, or at least it should. And then, low key, expect a promotion, recognition, credit, respect. You know, those things kind of go missing. So now, in the space of meritocracy, where we're taught that's how it is, we obviously know that that's what it's not. Sometimes. I mean, maybe a lot of times, but it's not the norm for us. So, that new black mantra is going to do a couple of things. But before we go into sharing what that is, I would like for my volunteers, Shabora, share with us something that you're proud of. And we're going to go the professional route, okay? Just, you know, you can do this both professionally and personally, but let's share our professional, you know, proudness. What's happened lately that you're proud of? Use the microphone.
Oh, I got promoted to go to a new department and to be a department head for the first time of a department I never worked in.
Hey! Give it that applause. How did that feel sharing it out loud? New. It felt new. How did it feel?
I don't know. I never celebrated it. I thought it was.
I knew it was something else. I was like, it ain't new. That ain't the answer. That ain't the answer. Go ahead. What's your name?
Jordan.
Jordan. Something you're proud of recently.
Recently, so I was selected to be on our organization's overall, one of our inclusion advisory boards to look over all of the company policies that are going through and ask the question, how does this impact our people?
All right, y'all. Just give a round of applause. I'm still saying, I don't know if Jordan's been in one of our workshops already, but she's moving in the right direction. So remember that. Who's next?
David.
David.
Yeah, I use software language SQL in the majority of my work, and am essentially self-taught. It's really interesting to see. I've been in my role for about a year and a half, and it's interesting to see the growth. When I first started and didn't really know too much to now what I'm able to do, I think I'm reminded just about weekly how far I've come, and it's really rewarding.
I would say breaking the stigma in the military. I just got out 4 years ago, right? So I didn't do the 20, right? Even though everybody was saying, you're doing the 20, right? No, do the 20, do the 20. I got to 11 and was like, yeah, fuck my man.
I of all people am not going to be mad at you if you say so. We got an F word in the last session too. They was quoting Jay-Z. But I know that ELC would be mad at me if I did it. But y'all do it, okay?
I broke that stigma and I've been successful ever since.
I might be the only person to say something a little bit personal, but I have a 7-month-old daughter, and I can take care of by myself for 10 hours.
What's your name, brother? What's your name? Glendale? Glendale, I am here to encourage you on behalf of all women. We are proud of you, but you can do a whole lot more. We celebrate you, nonetheless. Yeah.
My name is Kenyatta. I have, over the course of my career at the current company, I've had 5 interns who worked underneath me. All 5 have exceeded, have been hired permanently within the company, and one actually, who is a black male, just received a promotion, so his role is actually higher than mine now. I'm the only person within our company who have accomplished this.
Yes. And I really like the way that you worded all of that, that it's a team. You know, it's, when people talk about king makers, you know, when you make other leaders, that is a great compliment as to you, right? Sometimes we make Bill, no shade to Bills, a leader, but not because we were that great of a leader, but because he was just chosen because he was big, right? But in that case, that's good.
All right, so first of all, Dell, I got an 8-month-old baby boy, so if I want to push you a little bit and take him for 4 hours, so I and I would say the biggest thing I'm proud of is that my name is Maurice Broughton, I'm part of US Foods, and this is our first ever in-person event for ELC, so I'm proud of the organization and everyone that attended today. Thank you.
Were you on that call just a couple weeks ago?
I will just say yes, because I'm
Okay.
not sure.
Okay, now you're gonna remember. All right, y'all stay up there. Hold on to the microphone. Just stay right there. So, how many of you all feel a little uncomfortable when you talk about yourself? Okay. Anybody out there feel a little uncomfortable? Okay. There are many of us that feel uncomfortable when it's time to talk about ourselves. And even for those of us who don't have that same discomfort, we probably don't talk about ourselves enough. And we probably don't position what we're sharing in a way that actually reaps some type of benefit. And the reason why I say that is because if we are adhering to this, you have to be twice as good, and you have to put your head down and work, and let my work speak for itself, I want to introduce you into a prompt that we can all use so that we can comfortably, confidently talk about our achievements, our accolades, our wins, and our milestones. Whatever other name you can come up with too, but I think I kind of exhausted that list. But if you did something, professionally and personally, that is a big deal. But we oftentimes put our head down and be so quick to get to that next thing that we've forgotten. And even here, you didn't probably struggle, but then you probably had to, what am I proud of? What did just happen? What did that? What do you think? You looking for your thoughts, turning around. Where they at? Right? And oftentimes we don't write it down. We don't share it enough, so it's not at the top of our mind. And there's two things that happen. Hit it with the next slide. Introducing the Proud Talk. Okay? This prompt, and for those of you who all got your sticky notes, this prompt is a part of a larger framework called the Proud Talk. And it's about how do you integrate your achievements, your wins, your accolades into conversational storytelling. So that on that Zoom meeting, you're waiting on people to show up, and Bill says, Gwendolyn, how's everything been going? Gwendolyn does not say, oh yeah, everything's been great, I've been fine, you know, it's just hanging in there. You laughing, Maya, that must be your go-to. Instead, Gwendolyn says, I am proud to say, get the next prompt, because I think that's the next thing. Oh, yeah, see? I am proud to say. This is just one example of how you can use just this prompt. You know, I'm proud to say. So, with that being said, first of all, give our volunteers a round of applause. I make them stand there because sometimes we have discomfort just standing, being in our own presence while people are looking at us. So just stand. You talk about how do you exude presence, being okay with just standing in front of other people. So good job, ladies and gentlemen. Have a seat. Because sometimes when I get people, as soon as they get done talking, and they think they're finished, and then they start scurrying back to their seat. I'm like, no, hold up. What are you so anxious about? Stand in front of people, be seen. Yes, yep. Stay on camera as much as you possibly can. So what I want to do, we're going to do an exercise. And I want you to we're going to take about 60 seconds. 60 seconds. We're going to take about 60 seconds. I'm not even really counting. It's just going to be my spirit. But I want you to write down and answer that prompt. Let me see what it looks like. I'm proud to say. Right? Write down something. If you don't have one of those icky things, raise your hand. We can teach you some. You do have to write it down again. Getting him in trouble.
Get me in trouble.
Write it in your phone. If you want more of these sticky notes to help you document all of your excellence on a day-to-day basis, then holla at us. We can send them to you, plus shipping and handling. But if you go through the effort and be like, I want some of those Post-it notes, we're gonna send you a Post-it note, okay? And the reason why we're doing this, question.
Hey, did you guys have any extra pins?
Oh, extra pins? It's somebody around here doing that. Okay, got another pen? Here we go.
Thank you.
See, closed mouths don't get fed. So the reason why we're doing this is this prompt, I'm proud to say, it does two things. And right now I just want to focus on what it does for you professionally. You don't miss opportunities to talk about the good that you've done. Because people are not just going to see it. The work doesn't speak for itself. Sometimes it does. But you can accelerate the good news about the great work that you've done by being your own apostle. Speak up, spread the good word. There was a conversation earlier where sometimes people feel like, well, I don't want to give off too much ego, you know? Y'all be feeling like that?
Be humble.
Be humble. I'm gonna say nah. And I say that because I don't think that we have an issue collectively as Black professionals with too much. We have been conditioned to come in and not be loud and not be bold and not be confident and not be sure of ourselves. Why? Why do you think we do that? Because of racism. Why else? To fit in. The judgment. Why else?
Survival.
Survival.
And you're taught it.
You said what?
You're taught it.
You're taught it to make them white people. Right? We come into these places like them, you know, our teams, white people. We like a lot of them, but some of them, they ain't your best. But we do this, we, dim our light for their comfort. We also show up and try to be twice as good, but sometimes I believe it goes through a filter of what's twice as good in their eyes. So to be twice as good is we have to straighten our hair, we have to change our talk, we have to change our walk, we have to change our dress. And then we're exhausted because we're living two lives. So much is at play with this. But the first thing that this prompt helps you with is finding ways to balance, because I know we can't make these people scared. We can't make them feel threatened. But guess what? They probably gonna feel it anyway, right? But because we always have to be twice as good, we have to make these certain considerations. So instead, I'm proud to say. What you got? I'm proud to say what? You say it, Maya.
I'm proud to say that I started the first employee engagement committee from our organization, and we initiate D&I activities for our area.
And when's the next time you want to share heard the news, you can just say, I'm proud to say, and I'm still proud to say. I'm still reeling over, I'm still excited about it. You can also exchange that with, I'm excited about, right? So now when you have these opportunities, you know what you're gonna say. You don't have to hesitate when you say it. You're gonna lead with some confidence. It's gonna anchor you in your authority. It's gonna remind you of your expertise. So then when you talk about presence, and when you walk into a room, it's that practice that builds what you exude. So it's not just about being proud of it, but you have to reverse and heal some of those symptoms of having to be twice as good, right? I always say, it's not bragging, it's branding, it's not boasting, it's building. How people are seeing you, what they know about you. Don't leave it up to just your work itself. You're also responsible for that. What's the next slide? Okay, so this is what else it accomplishes. Because that you have to be twice as good affects us emotionally. It affects so many different things. By using this as a practice, it also helps you overcome some of these things. It reverses some things. On Black Panther, when T'Challa was fighting M'Baku, Queen Mother, she yelled out, "Remember who you are!" That spoke to my spirit. Remember who you are. And it should not just be a silent, internal prayer type of thing. Remember who you are on a day-to-day basis. Remember who you are. Get comfortable with it. So, you do this prompt, it releases you of the perfectionism because it reminds you that you actually achieved something. Oh yeah, I did do this, and I did this, and I did that, and I did this, and I did that. Perfectionism loses its stronghold on you. And we're all working to release perfectionism. It eases anxiety. When you're not thinking that you're working hard enough, you actually are. Everything else. Reveals your authenticity. Thank you for changing that typo. Now, when people got up here and they shared, we learned about the new dads. We joked with them. We've created a stronger connection. I know that we as Black people, we got a personal life they don't know nothing about. And when we show up over here, hi Jim. Oh no, that's great. No, I can't do that. Right? Then we be stressed out at home, kicking off our feet, our shoes and stuff, talking way different, right? But it is the thing. And somehow we've learned that they don't want to see who we are. But I think that may oftentimes be a lot of what we tell ourselves. We talked about how this twice as good, put your head down and work. It's been inherited. Each one of you probably are going to tell somebody else coming up. But if you do tell them about you have to be twice as good, also remind them who they are. Promotes your work. Reminds yourself to celebrate yourself. It can relieve you of the burnout and the exhaustion, right? When you can go back to your achievements, your wins, your accolades more frequently, then sometimes you'll say, no, I'm good. I don't need to do that extra. I don't have to go that extra. You get to choose and not feel such a pressure. Reinforces boundaries. Stop saying yes when you'd rather say no. How many times y'all would rather say no? I'm proud to say that I said no. Because that's an achievement for us these days. I'm proud to say that all this quarter, I said no for things that really weren't needed for me. And then it challenges imposter syndrome. I think us seeking perfection because we have to be twice as good also leaves us feeling like we're not good enough. Because we're not achieving or we're not attaining. Right? Okay, next slide. Oh. You said what? Yeah. We're to the end. We got 5 minutes before I'm supposed to let y'all out of here. 5 minutes? Yeah. I know, right? Yes, Maya would like to share something.
No, go ahead.
It's just a nugget that a mentor gave me, and it was very on topic with what you talked about. But someone told me a long time ago to make a folder for yourself called a phrase folder, and it has been amazing for me. So every time someone sends you a nice email, or every time you accomplish something, slide it to your folder, because in a year you will forget all the amazing things you do. Even your registration for when you register for this conference, slide it in that folder, because you'll forget when it's time to praise yourself, or it's time to have your one-on-one, and it's time to write something on yourself. You go back and you look at all the great things you did, the conferences you attended, the things that you did, the pictures that you took with amazing people, and it's time to talk about it. You go to your praise report and you're like, wow, look at my folder, I did a lot of stuff. So just a nugget.
And then these post-it notes are also to remind you, like on a day-to-day basis. Put it on your computer, put it on your mirror. What were you gonna say?
I have a question for you.
Yes.
So,
Uh-oh, my name is so.
right. So, how do you combat, like, within our own community, or our own culture, or your own family, when you try to share something you're proud of, but you know how it is. Oh, he thinks he's better than us. Oh my God, he bougie now. He left the hood and he's different. It's just, yeah, like, so, like how do you, well, I don't agree with anything that I don't agree with. So that's just my personality. So I come off as combative. It's like, no, I don't get it, whatever. I'm doing better than you. Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's what you feel. That's what you feel, right? So how do you?
Well, the first thing that I would say is, if you're getting that, family excluded, because you got a choice as to how closely you associate yourself with your family.
That's true.
And the value that you put on them for your achievements. And you want them to be happy for you, but they show you who they are. And you know Kenny ain't gonna be feeling it, so F Kenny. The second thing I would say is, if it's happening within your friend group, it's time to find new friends. Right. Because I don't think any of us would ever greet even each other. We don't even know each other like that, right? So find a new friend group. And then you also have the power to be able to allow that filter, right? They don't dig it, they don't get it, they don't like it, then it's just like, okay. Right? Somebody else, what do you got?
I actually just wanted to respond to the comment. Yeah. I've been told that I was bougie my entire life. My cousins were my first bullies who told me I was bougie. And then when I was younger, as a kid, it made me upset. I took offense to it. As I got older, I took a self-evaluation. And I said, you know what, you're right. And you're right, because what I want is not the same as what you want. How I move is not the same as you move.
It's true.
So I take that no longer as an insult. Yeah. I take it as, you right. You right. It's not even a compliment.
You think you all that? You right?
You right.
Oh, you done moved up. You think you cute?
For me, and this is not over wrapping up, but for me, I don't have to argue with you. You're right.
What's your name, Kenyatta? Give it up for Kenyatta, y'all. Before I let y'all out of here, so now y'all got two mantras. But to that mantra, you right, is what I was saying, Malcolm, about the choice that you have. You can choose what you claim or what you accept as truth and what you don't accept as truth. Because some people will say some things about you and they're not right. But if they say some things that you like, right? Exactly. And that's a space of discernment we all have to exercise. So before I let you go, I wrote some stuff on the plane. And this may speak to you individually, or this may speak to people that you know at work. And I would also say, if you're ever doing a speaking engagement, prepare your stuff. Sometimes I pride myself to go off the dome for pretty much everything, right? But sometimes I just need to write it down. And so but then I revised a little bit of it when we were in the sessions. And so I want to share this in connection as to what this is all about. But because y'all have been privileged to be up in here with us at MLMS, today you've learned one practical tactic to speak boldly on behalf of your work. Raise your hand if you feel like you'll be able to use "I'm proud to say." Okay. But back at headquarters, you have colleagues, you have team members, and perhaps you even have leaders who have also far exceeded you have to be twice as good. They put their head down, they've done the work, and somehow they're still holding out hope that their work will speak for itself. My experience has shown that those very same people are high performers, even leaders, but they're communicating without the authority and without the authenticity. They're leaving rooms with their presence left unnoticed. They're the experts at what they do, but they still seem to be asking for permission. They leave decision makers and stakeholders unmoved, indecisive, and apathetic. Let's talk about influence. Their work has great impact, but they struggle with the influence. And I say that today, we started the work to reverse the damaging symptoms of you have to be twice as good. And we started to let go of the baggage of subpar communication skills, and also communication skills that just did not exist. Or you don't exercise it enough. And in the space of this "I'm proud" talk, it's going to help you in those things that we talked about today, but it's really about underlining your credibility, not undermining it. So when you scan this QR code, there's a couple of things that are going to pop up. One, the full training. This was a little snippet with the prompt, but we have a full Proud Talk framework, which is all about taking your achievements, your accolades, your wins, and intertwining them into conversational storytelling. So that no matter where you show up, whenever you show up, you are ready. What they say? Who got the Come on now. You need to stay ready. And this training we're offering to you complimentary. So go use it, go look at it, go do it. And then also, if you believe that this is an opportunity for people when you head back to your headquarters, that they need help, they need support, then there's an opportunity for you to be able to share this with them as well. Because the work that we do here is also meant for us to be the leaders that we are, and then go enrich those that we call our colleagues, our team members, and even our leaders. With that being said, I am proud to say that I have had the opportunity to share company, to share a room, to have conversation, to look at the faces of some of our greatest leaders in this nation. I am proud to say that I've been able to face and interact with some of the next top-level executives and CEOs of these Fortune 500 and 100 companies. I'm excited to say that we are cut from the same cloth. I'm excited to say, and I'm proud to say, that we walk out of this place elevated together, have learned together. And I pray that you all continue to celebrate one another, and you continue to refuel one another, and don't be shy. Ain't no shame in yo about what it is that you are proud of. And share that today with everybody else at MLMS. Be like, I'm proud to say, how's today? I'm proud to say that. I love this. How was your day? I'm proud to say that. Do it. I think that was the last slide. This is my contact info. That's LinkedIn. So holla at me on LinkedIn. That's my email, and then Speak House. That's my company. My business partner is here as well. And we do these workshops. We do on-demand communication coaching. We're making it scalable for teams. And we would love to work with you all. So, With that being said, y'all go out, have an amazing time. You still got a little break. I'm gonna take all your breaks today. And I'll see y'all at the main stage at 4 o'clock.